Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more real-life stories of love, betrayal, and heartbreak. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. I still remember the first text. It was brief, casual almost. Dinner with Mr. Thompson tonight. Don't worry, it's harmless. Harmless. That word echoed in my head, over and over like a bad joke I wasn't supposed to laugh at. At the time I shrugged. I trusted her. I wanted to trust her. Harmless dinner with your boss, I thought. What could go wrong? But it didn't take long for small doubts to creep in. It started with missed calls, her phone buzzing endlessly in her purse, calls she claimed were just work stuff. Then, there were the texts she left open on the kitchen counter, notifications flashing with names I didn't recognize. She'd laugh when I asked, brush it off with, "You're overthinking, Wasim." I questioned myself first. Maybe I was paranoid. Maybe I was overthinking. A week later, she said she had a late meeting with Mr. Thompson again. She came home smelling faintly of his cologne. I noticed the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the nervous glance at her phone as she spoke. My chest tightened with a nameless fear. I kept telling myself, it's nothing. You're imagining things. Then came the night that changed everything. I was working late in the home office when her phone buzzed across the table. She'd left it unlocked. An innocent accident, or maybe fate. The message that lit up the screen made my stomach drop. "Tonight was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." I froze. My hands trembled. I scrolled through the thread. Each message worse than the last, flirtation, laughter, innuendo. And the hardest part? They weren't hiding it well. Every harmless dinner, every casual after-work coffee, every team meeting was just a setup. A repeated pattern I had blindly trusted. I confronted her quietly at first, trying to make sense of what I saw. This doesn't feel harmless anymore," I said, voice barely above a whisper. Her face went pale, eyes darting away. "Wasim, it's not like that. I swear, it's nothing physical. Nothing physical." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to cling to the woman I married. But trust, once broken, doesn't rebuild itself overnight. My mind replayed every moment in the past months. The sudden cancellations, the secretive smiles at her phone, the way she lingered on his name. Every memory felt tainted, every laugh now suspicious. I couldn't sleep. I walked through our apartment at night, tracing our life together like a detective. The picture frames, the notes she left on the fridge, the tiny gestures I had once cherished, they all now felt like fragments of a lie. I asked myself, was I blind? Was I never really seen by her at all? A week of silent torment passed before I decided I couldn't live in limbo anymore. I waited for her to come home from one of those dinners, my hands shaking as I held the phone I had secretly recorded her messages on. When she walked in, smiling like nothing had changed, I felt a surge of anger I couldn't contain. "Explain this," I said, my voice firm but breaking. I placed the phone on the counter, the screen showing the messages. She stared, eyes wide, the smile gone. I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered, almost choking. "I told you it was harmless. I thought I could control it." Control. That word stung worse than anything. The betrayal wasn't just the dinners or the messages. It was the lies, the manipulation of my trust. And yet, even as my heart broke, I saw her guilt, her fear. She wasn't a monster. She was flawed, human, capable of mistakes that destroyed everything we had. We didn't yell. There were no dramatic fights. Just long, shattering silence. I packed a bag that night, leaving some things behind, taking the essentials. Walking out felt like stepping into a different life. One where the person I loved could no longer live in my heart. In the following weeks, I wrestled with grief, anger, and confusion. I realized that trust isn't given lightly, and once shattered, it takes more than apologies to fix. Memories that once warmed me now cut like shards of glass. The way she laughed at my jokes, the way we planned vacations, the quiet evenings on the couch. All of it haunted me. But I also discovered something vital about myself. My worth isn't tied to someone else's choices. Painful as it was, walking away taught me self-respect. I allowed myself to mourn, to feel, but I refused to let bitterness consume me. Slowly I began to rebuild, not around her but around me. Sometimes I still wonder if she ever thought about the wreckage she left behind. Sometimes, I remember her smile before everything went wrong and almost forgive her. But mostly I remember the lesson. Love isn't enough if it's not matched with honesty, respect, and trust. I still carry the sting, yes, but I also carry strength. I learned to value myself enough to walk away from what was broken beyond repair. And in that quiet, painful space, I finally found freedom. So if there's one thing I hope you take from this story, never ignore the small red flags, trust your instincts, and know your worth, even if it means leaving someone you once loved.